Do you think it's important for artists to have some sort of entrepreneurial or business knowledge like yourself? Because you said you
Yeah,
study economics. Do you think that can help with artists
yeah,
succeed?
I think it helps. But if you take your job seriously, you almost should be interested in managing it, seeing how you can develop a career. For developing a career, there is always a business aspect. So I would call it a business. You're running a business, even for the law, usually, because you are no employee, but you're self. For the law, you have to, but it's minimal, the kind of things you have to do. But yeah, I would say if you take your job serious, you take management serious as well. Self-management, you call it.
Do you think most artists don't take that side of things seriously and they should probably take the business side of things more seriously?
Yeah, it's funny. I mentioned these new bohemians. You would expect them to be least concerned with business, this carefree style, etc. But it's a style which also is oriented on careers. And pop groups, it appears that they do it for fun, but in between, the business aspect is taken serious. How to negotiate with a venue for your remuneration, the amount they pay you, and to know about that, you're not asking the venue, but you ask friends who have a small pop group or whatever. And so there's a whole world of people who help one another, also develop managerial talents. So I find little conflict between business and art, money and art.
Do you think business should be taught more on arts courses at universities, or do you think it has to be learned through experience?
It's being done now in quite a few schools, but it appears that students are not happy with it. They've done research, and 2 or 3 years after leaving the academy, they think it could have been done better. There is, of course, a major problem if one person is educated, runs the course, entrepreneurship, but most of the teachers say, oh, this is a waste of time. These students should work, play the piano, but not waste time on
Why do they
something.
think? Why do you think they think that?
That's still the old idea in classical music. Technique is so important. So
Hmm.
you have to exercise every hour almost to. That's the idea. Huh? Yeah, it may not be true, but well, the Russian kids still have to exercise a lot, but still. Yeah. So entrepreneurial skills, mm, I would say don't separate it from other skills. Maybe a course could be, yeah, how to brand yourself on social media
Hmm.
or on the internet or self-branding in general. And then the economic aspect almost automatically gets attention as well. The entrepreneurial aspects, yeah, because by branding yourself, you have to stand out. It all comes a bit together. Psychology, because you want to promote a certain identity. Authenticity is very important. An image of somebody who is honest and authentic explains part of the attraction of art. Both students and teachers would better understand why this is a useful course. And maybe it is better than just learning how to run a business in the old fashioned way.
But how does it differ from when you were studying art? When you were in your 20s, was it much harder for you to brand yourself and sell yourself compared to nowadays?
You needed others for it very much. The dealer, and it was almost impossible. But there were, of course, some artists who managed to stand out by making something which drew much and much attention. Some painter who painted bodies who were being devoured, and then got attention in the papers. And maybe at that moment were approached by a manager or found the manager themselves, and then it got going, and they kept up the brand. But of all the visual artists who were around in the Netherlands and who earned some money, quite a few, maybe could make a living, this was a very small group. But it still happens, of course. Museums, major museums also like to cooperate and bring visual artists.
What's your experience been like with gallery dealers and art dealers in your career?
My experience, yeah, it shouldn't be just business. Huh? There must be some personal attractions both ways. So far, if that happened in my case, I've had 3 dealers. The business side is a bit of a problem because the second dealer went along very well and he managed to sell my work pretty good, but he didn't pay me.
Why didn't he pay you?
He had a money problem, of course, a cash
yeah.
flow, but that was unpleasant.
Did you end up getting paid eventually?
Oh, yeah. But I had a friend, colleague, who didn't pay. And the friend, I was just saying, oh, come on, I have to pay the rent of my studio. Please pay me now. But his friend had a different background. And he threatened to make a legal case out of it. And that was certainly what he should not have done.
Did he not get the money after threat?
Yeah, but the threatening, that's, the dealer must still have the feeling I'm the good guy, I help my artists. And then if artists start to protest in a way like that, it doesn't work.
Okay, I'll take that into account. I won't go threatening any dealers. But what was your third dealer like compared to the second one?
The first dealer was nice, but commercially not so good. So that was why I moved to the second dealer. He was maybe a bit too much friendship. So yeah, he wants to be friends, and I want to be friends with him. But it didn't help my career so much. I made pretty homoerotic art in those days. And that was difficult to find a dealer for that. And this guy was not gay, but he liked the idea of having somebody, which would be a bit problematic to sell his stuff. Second dealer I told you about, he was gay. He did better.
What about your last dealer? You said you had 3.
The last dealer was a woman. With my secondary dealer, I participated in an art fair a few years, year on year. And that already is quite prestigious.
Yeah.
But there I saw this woman and her place where the kind of art she tried to sell. And I started to make jokes with her and we got sort of a relationship. And then when I wanted to get rid of my commercial dealer, I went up to her and said, could you be my dealer? And then there's a bit of a relationship between the work I make, all the work that you have. And then she agreed. But she wouldn't have done with everybody. That was my last dealer and she died 4 years ago. Before that time she stopped having a physical gallery, but went for the internet. I don't know if that was for my work. She was very pleasant to work with.
Do you think the key traits for having a good artist-dealer relationship is some sort of friendship and some sort of chemistry, but not too extreme on either a commercial side or friendship side? There has to be like a balance of both.
Yeah, you give the answer.